Alrighty guys, so recently there has been a lot of discussion around whether or not there will be mandatory wipes within Arc Raiders, and Embark has come out and said a few months back that they would not push for mandatory wipes, but we were questioning, like, what does that actually mean? Is there going to be a prestige system? Is there going to be no wipes at all? How is that going to work? How's the game going to last? How are we going to have longevity in the game for people who like grinding and stuff like that? Well, today we're going to be diving into the Expedition Project. They just posted a link to this in Discord. I will leave a link to it in the description so that you guys may go and read it for yourselves. But in case you're busy, you're at work right now, you're doing some dishes or some chores around the house or something like that, I'm going to read it to you guys word for word here. And then I'm going to go ahead after that and talk about what I believe this means, some potentials that could come of this and stuff like that. Kind of to stir the pot, you know, and in general, I think we should all get into the comments and talk it out. If you guys like the video today and find it at all helpful, do me a solid and drop a like, share with a friend, and consider subscribing if you're not already, as we are just getting started. I have about 14 videos up of Arc Raiders gameplay, give or take. You guys can go ahead and check that out as well. And without further ado, let's get into what Virgil from Embark has to say about the Expedition Project. Hello all, I am Virgil, the design director for Arc Raiders. I would like to spend a bit of time talking about a topic that is important to many players familiar with games like Arc. This being the subject of progression and wipes, or as we refer to it, the Expedition Project. Previously, the question of how we will handle resets or wipes has come up. Until now, the answer has been that currently we do not intend to do mandatory wipes. These words were chosen carefully, as we don't intend to have mandatory wipes. However, as some have guessed, we do have a voluntary reset mechanic. Just to make it clear, we absolutely see the benefits a global wipe provides. Veteran players can experience the game fresh, the economy is reset to the baseline, and all players have about the same level of capabilities, at least for a little while. However, one thing a mandatory wipe does not do is respect the investment of those players who do not have as much time to play overall. So, as we have done with several other mechanics, before mimicking other established mechanics, we like to try our own method, ideally to the end that best suits Arc Raiders and a larger majority of its players. Which brings us to the Expedition Project. The tunnel networks connected to Speranza are vast, but largely unexplored or inaccessible. Most survivors stay within their settlements, but like the raiders who dare to adventure topside, there are those who dare to venture even further. Once the Rust Belt has given all it can offer, some raiders choose to set out beyond the borders of what they know. As of now, this has always been a one-way trip. In the full game, players will have access to a feature called Projects. At level 20, the first major project players will have access to is the Expedition Project. Upon completion, this project will make a character reset available. If a player completes a reset, they will be able to do so again so long as they complete another of these projects. The Expedition Project will operate on a repeating cycle of roughly 8 weeks. During the course of these 8 weeks, players can contribute towards and make progress on their Expedition Project, which will overall be a somewhat large time investment. At the start of the 8th week, the ability to finalize the project will become available and will remain available for that entire week. If a player has fulfilled all of the necessary stages of the project, they will be able to commit to completing the expedition during this period. Should a player's project not be ready during the window to complete the Expedition Project, their project will be kept, allowing them to continue working on the project until the next finalization window. Other projects may be added over time as part of updates, holidays, and other events. These will range in scale and reward structure. So, what do you keep through an expedition versus what is lost? Players will lose anything inherent to their character's progress. Levels, skills, items, inventory, workshop, crafting capabilities, etc. Players will keep cosmetics earned or purchased, awards, achievements, rankings, etc. Essentially, anything rooted solely in the metagame or involving real money will be preserved. For convenience, after completing an expedition, players will be able to skip the majority of the onboarding and tutorial steps they went through as a new player. This being things like unlocking certain features, maps, etc. as they play through the early game. These will just be available from the start of a fresh reset. Now, aside from players who like the thrill of starting fresh, why would you willingly give up all your hard-earned progress? Incentives. We are still finalizing the exact benefits and rewards, but will generally follow along these lines. Permanent account unlocks for each completed expedition. unique cosmetic rewards for each completed expedition, account buffs that are applied during the duration of the following expedition cycle, and sequential completions of the expedition project increase the magnitude of these buffs up to a limit. One point to drive home is that we are being very careful about the nature of these benefits. Completing a reset should never give a player a power or combat advantage over anyone who has not completed a reset. Initially, these benefits will center around cosmetics and bragging rights, quality of life, and smoothing out some aspects of progression for those who have gone through a reset. While any and all of this is subject to change between now, launch, and post-launch, that is about the shape of it right now. We hope that making the reset mechanic voluntary and properly incentivized, we can observe two results. 1. Players who are highly engaged can experience the game fresh on a regular cadence while accruing some benefits. 2. Players who have less time to dedicate to the game don't have their progress reset outside of their control. They are always able to keep moving forward at their own pace if they so choose. It's not a silver bullet and won't achieve the clean break that a mandatory global reset does, but it does aim to be more equitable to all players. Wherever possible, we want to value your time spent in the game as much as you do. Of course, this is a complex topic, so we'll be keeping an eye on the discussion around this message and follow up as necessary. Thank you all for your interest and passion for Arc Raiders, and I look forward to seeing you topside. Virgil. Thank you, Virgil. I am very passionate, and I do really appreciate this message. And guys, we should actually talk about this a lot in the comments. We should talk about this a lot in the comments. It's sounding to me like the developers would really value our opinions on this. So take it into the comments right now, guys. Let's talk it out. Personally, I really am enjoying the way this is sounding. It's reminiscent of the prestige system from Hunt Showdown, in my opinion, but instead of just like rank up, reset, run it back, it actually gives you reason to feel more immersed in the world of Arc Raiders. It gives you reasons to collect certain items. It gives you reasons to be present in certain areas at any given moment. And at the end of the day, there's an ultimate goal. These expeditions are going to progress you in ways that other games in the genre simply just don't. I think once this is fully ironed out, this has a lot of potential to be probably my favorite progression system in a video game. I mean, just the way it sounds so appealing and universal. Like, both sides win. And for all we know, expeditions could be a doorway to more lore and more additions to the game in the future. We could be tampering with the Arc by doing this stuff, and bada bing, bada boom, a new season, new lore. A brand new thing has happened as a result of our interactions with the world in Arc Raiders. Who knows? I think the system sounds really unique. It's very fair across the board. I liked Hunt Showdown because of that. You could reset yourself. There was a mix of really high-powered players and really low-level players all the time in Hunt Showdown because they had this type of like reset system. I have a lot of faith in this just being a really flushed out and well-designed system. These guys have been killing it with the finals and with everything that we've seen about Arc Raiders, so I don't have any doubts. But like I said, let's get into the comments. Let's talk amongst ourselves. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't. But I think that we all can agree on the fact that our time being valued is a really cool and unique thing. The only extraction shooter I've ever played that did that had no wipes, was Hunt Showdown. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the comments and let's chat about it. What do we like? What don't we like? What do we think we could change about it? All of this stuff is stuff that devs want to see and read and hear about. So consider the comments of this video a place to just absolutely brainstorm about this topic. And I will be in there with you guys, chatting it up. Thank you guys so much. We just hit 5,000 subs. We are now halfway to my 10K subs by October 30th goal. And we have doubled the size of my audience in just under 14 days, which is insane. Thank you guys so much. I'm at a loss for words of what I could possibly say at this point. I'm absolutely mind blown. You guys are proving to me that I can be way more than I am, and every subscriber counts. Every single one counts. So if you guys like me, you guys like my content, you like what I put down, you like what I have to say, you like what I have to offer, share the videos with your friends, like the videos, and most importantly, get subscribed so that you are here to follow along as we journey out and adventure further into the world of Arc Raiders. Thank you so much for watching my video today, guys. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for taking part in all of this. Every day I get closer and closer to achieving my dream, and you guys are each piece of that puzzle, So it does mean the world to me that you guys are subscribing, enjoying the content, and giving me that feedback. I really do appreciate that you guys are here. I really hope today's video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the Rust Belt October 17th when we all get to try the game again for free during the server slam. Thank you so much, and I will catch you guys in the next video.